Let's go now to Japan, where citizens are vowing they won't be defeated in the wake of the recent catastrophic earthquake, tsunami and nuclear disasters. 28,000 people are dead or missing, more than 140,000 are homeless and living in shelters, and there's still the threat of an atomic meltdown. A new national mood of self-restraint is being heralded around Japan on everything from power consumption to political campaigns. The ABC's North Asia correspondent Mark Willisey reports from Tokyo.
They're a reminder of the fragility of life. Almost as quickly as a cherry blossom bursts into bloom, it withers and dies. This is what the Japanese call hanami season, a time to celebrate the beauty and transience of these flowers. But not this year. Not after nature exposed the fragility of life all along this country's east coast.
All the cherry blossom parties planned by my company are cancelled. Me and my friends are not in the mood for drinking or parties anyway.
This is what cherry blossom season is supposed to be like, with parks and gardens packed with people. But for the first time in 62 years, Tokyo's famed Ueno Park has cancelled its cherry blossom parties. It's all part of what the Japanese call jishuku, or self-restraint.
People are saving electricity by not switching on lights. Streets are dark, restaurants are closing early. People are refraining from having parties and drinking.
Never before has Japan been hit by such a perfect storm. The most violent earthquake in its recorded history. A fast-moving tsunami more than 10 metres high and hundreds of kilometres long. And a nuclear crisis leaching radiation into the air, soil and sea. The natural disaster has obliterated entire communities, destroying families, leaving hundreds of thousands homeless and creating food and fuel shortages. It's also triggered some national introspection about what it is to be Japanese.
When many Japanese feel suffering and sadness, they think they should not enjoy themselves. This is a kind of cultural response.
Hand cleaner, tissue paper.
Very essential.
Sumiko Gomi's life has been bookended by two giant earthquakes. She was born just 3 weeks after the Great Kanto earthquake in 1923, a disaster which left 140,000 dead. For decades, the 88-year-old has kept her earthquake survival kit by her bed, waiting for the next big tremor.
For the fire.
But she, like millions of other Japanese, says she's endured tougher times than these.
During World War II, we did not know when we would be killed. Enemy planes would fly over us, and we hoped the bombs would not fall on us. The tension was much higher then.
For Sumiko Gomi, jishuku is a natural response to tragedy. And this is self-restraint in action. Across Tokyo, lights have been turned off in offices and homes. Even high-end retailers who usually bathe their luxury wares in light are joining in.
Because of the power shortage, we're shortening our opening hours, cutting back on lighting and shutting down most of our escalators and lifts.
The Tokyo department store believes its Jishuku campaign reflects the national mood. As well as the lights, gone are the annoying in-store jingles and aggressive sales pitches. Things customers in this post-disaster nation regard as unseemly.
I am doing my bit and saving electricity by switching off lights at home and at my office. My company is pitch dark now. Also, we don't use the air conditioners anymore.
Even Tokyo's streetscape has changed radically. This is a metropolis famed for turning night into day, with a supernova of lights and glowing screens.
This is Shibuya Crossing, one of the busiest pedestrian crossings in the world. Behind me are 3 giant TV screens, which at night illuminate these buildings and the crossing itself. Usually this place is blazing with colour and light, but not anymore, not after this disaster.
Stripped of its nocturnal glare, Shibuya these days is a different place, and that unsettles some Japanese.
Shibuya is always bright, so I feel very strange with this darkness. It doesn't feel like Shibuya at all.
I often come to Shibuya, so I feel this is weird.
Back at her home, Sumiko Gomi is still keeping her bathtub full of water in case of another big shock. But the 88-year-old is confident her compatriots can absorb anything nature can throw at them.
The Japanese have inner strength. A person might be suffering, but if they see someone with a strong spirit, they will work hard to rebuild. We will encourage and support those affected by this disaster.
More than any other, this year's cherry blossom season really will be about the fragility of life here. But like this delicate flower, the Japanese say they will bloom again.
Mark Willesee in Tokyo.